quiz.
Whew!
Are you now hitting before one?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, on the one is when
really?
I hit. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I guess the sound must just be fun.
It's the off for you. It's just off. It's fine.
Yeah, all right. Oh, hey, I have something to say to you.
Yeah?
And I will make an announcement at some point to all of our listeners, so maybe this is just for patrons, but I just thought this was a fun story. Yeah. So Carla and I are doing a podcast.
You are?
Yes, we're doing
That's awesome.
Schitt's Creek podcast.
She loves that show. You love that show, but I know that she loves it too.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
So it's much like what you and I do here, but we're just going episode by episode, chronologically through and, making fun of it and just talking about what we like about it. So anyway, I set this up and we recorded a bunch of episodes.
How fun.
And I was like, okay, I'll put this up now. And I went online and I asked these people that I talked to online, like this group. I was like, hey, can you guys give me a fun name for this podcast? And people threw out all sorts of like shitty
I was going to say Schitt's Creek
right.
puns itself. Yeah, well.
The podcast that's out there now, really the only one that has a good name is Talkin' Shit. And I was like, oh, that's really good.
It's very clever, yeah.
So this one woman said shits and giggles. And I was
How
like, okay, that's
adorable.
Great.
I love it.
So we've been saying the name of this podcast in all the episodes and everything, and I throw it up. And I know you don't know how it works, but to get your podcast onto iTunes and stuff, they have to review it.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't really know what that entails.
But somebody has to get a review on in order for it to be featured on Apple?
Yeah, I don't know how that... I don't know if somebody's at Apple is sitting and listening to it or if it's like a weird bot thing or whatever the process is. So when you and I did ours, it was like 20 minutes. It was approved and up.
Okay.
So for me and Carla, it took about 5 days.
Oh, well, but is it because it's such a niche, such a small, like it's Schitt's Creek, and that's just a show while we're...
Don't know. Because it says on the website, like if you go to iTunes or whatever, it's like most take 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes it'll take upwards of 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So it went up. So I go into Apple and I look it up and I was like, shits and giggles. And I look and there's another show that came up the same day.
Oh, those bastards.
Like the exact same day. And I was like, this is like our stupid podcast all over
it
again.
is. You have to be,
Remember?
because we had a...
If listeners go back and you listen to our first episode, that is not the name of the podcast. No. But I was like, you know what? I put 4 episodes up at once for this show.
That's all.
And these girls only had an introduction.
All right.
So I was like, you know what? I think I can probably... So I just sent them a message. And I was like, hey, we have more episodes than you. And I know we went up on the same day. And I was like, I know that's not a reason to ask you to change, but would you mind changing your name?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't respond.
So were they
to me,
shitty about it?
No, they changed it.
Oh, excellent.
They didn't say anything. I was kind of upset that they just didn't send an email like, okay, no big deal. But they did change it.
Who knows?
So
Maybe this is the third name they've had. And they're like, oh, geez, another request. We can't come up with anything original. Oh.
They're like, we had Talking Shit. Then we had Shits and Giggles. What the fuck is going on? So, yeah. So
that's
so
awesome.
I
will listen to it. And I bet that is... So is it that you talk about the shows, your episodes of the shows, and you go through it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we just go through each episode
How does Carla love it? Does Carla love it?
We'll rank them at the end. So at the end of the series, there'll be a definitive list of which episodes are the best.
I love it. How many seasons? I've only seen parts of that show. I know it's excellent, and the cast is phenomenal. But how many seasons are there?
they're doing their 6th,
Wow.
and it'll be done for good in the spring.
Wow. All right, maybe it'll be
Yeah.
one of those that I binge once it's completely over. And
Yeah,
I just
because I mean, it's 6 seasons, but every season has like 10 to 13 episodes, so it's
But Kathleen O'Hara, I
manageable.
could get around that, right? Isn't she in it? Yeah.
By around that, are you trying to avoid her? Is that what's happening? You're like, no Home Alone. Sorry.
No, not around it.
No
I didn't mean to say
Beetlejuice.
around it. I meant to say into that. I did say around it, which
All right,
makes you think
yes.
I don't like Kathleen O'Hara, but I
should.
do very much so.
But you have watched it, or you've
I've
just seen
seen
like
bits
and-
of it.
That's the problem. I remember when it was first advertised, I was like, this looks terrible. It's like, this show looks absolutely awful. And I don't know why I decided to watch it, but once I watched an episode, I was like,
This is hooked.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, I know some of the cast. I don't know them. I mean, I know them. Yeah, I know them.
Mhm.
And they said it was a good time, so I might as well just be friendly and tune in.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
So that's it. I just thought the whole naming thing was really
Yeah,
funny. And I was
kind of
so
ironic.
angry when I saw it. It's like, and then I was thinking, does this happen all the time?
How
Like,
common
anyone
is
that makes a
this? Yeah.
podcast, do they constantly go on and be like, oh, they stole my name idea or something? But anyway. So that's
Anyway,
it. So
welcome to How Do You
that
Make a
killed-
Podcast? How do you name a podcast?
How do you name a podcast?
Podcast.
First, look for a successful podcast and use their name, confusing possible listeners as to which show they're subscribing to. Oh, all right. So anyway, first of all, patrons, thanks for showing
Hey,
up.
happy holiday, patron.
Happy
Yeah, because you're
holiday,
listening to this
patrons.
probably around the holiday season for maybe Christmas Eve when it drops, right?
Right. If
It's a little
if you're anticipating
under your tree.
Christmas because that's what you celebrate,
Mm.
or I think it's like Hanukkah, Christmas, and Kwanzaa. I think this year are
Like
just
overlap?
all in a row.
Oh.
No, I know that Hanukkah overlaps, but I think they all start. I don't want to say start, but it's like Tuesday, Wednesday,
Oh,
Thursday.
look at that. Look at that lineup.
So whatever you celebrate, or if you celebrate nothing,
Yeah.
you're just getting a Garfield Christmas episode. So why
Yeah,
not?
so enjoy it, embrace it. Oh,
Devour it like a pan
like
of
a
lasagna.
big old pan of lasagna when you sleep in a square box or a rectangle box with a
Yeah.
cozy blanket, chubby body.
This I remembered most.
Me
of
too.
this.
Me too. I have to say,
Okay.
this was a very, for me, this was a very sweet, very nostalgic. I loved this
I-
special, Christmas special as a kid. I remembered a lot of it. I thought to myself, I'm going to have, I mean, some of Garfield's little Garfieldisms and John, they just lend themselves to a little bit of making fun, but I'm going to have a hard time
Sure.
poking fun at this movie because I just love it.
We don't have to poke fun at anything that goes on. I mean, I think there's his whole family dynamic is.
Yeah, I
but
agree. I agree.
I say I remember this, but it was in the way that I was like, okay, it's Christmas, and they go to the farm, and that's where they celebrate
Right.
Christmas. But it wasn't until like the grandmother thing, I could not have told you that happened before I watched it. But the moment
Yes.
I saw it, I was like, oh my God, wait,
Yes,
I totally
that's-
remember
yes,
this now.
yes.
And those letters and this sad old woman, and I was like, okay, all right, now I remember this. And the back scratcher, I was like, oh yeah, I remember.
Yes, yes.
So
That
yeah,
Odie's so
it was one of those things where it
adorable.
really jogged the memory there.
Agreed.
But I
In a pleasant way for me. I was like, oh yeah.
course.
And now watching it, I was like, oh, so sentimental. And Garfield really was a moody little cat. And I see. So
Yeah,
have
what?
you watched any of the because didn't they remake Garfield? I think they remade the cartoon, but didn't they do the movie Garfield the movie? That's like a live
I
action,
Did not.
isn't it?
Yes, it's a live action movie. I don't think I've ever seen the movie start to finish, but I've seen it enough, like in commercials, and then you flip by like TNT on a Sunday,
And it's
on. So I've seen enough to know that it's a thing, and somehow they got Bill Murray to voice him, and I think Jennifer Love Hewitt's in it, and she plays the nurse. I think.
Oh.
You know, John's love
yeah,
interest,
yeah,
the nurse from
yeah.
the comics. Liz, I believe her name is.
Huh. I could
I really
see.
like I had the books.
Oh
You remember the
yes, the
Garfield
long they were.
books where it was just collections of them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had so many of those.
Because he was just a fun cat. He was a cool cat.
He wasn't fun. He's a big downer.
Well,
But,
yeah,
which
but
is
that's
the weirdest
why.
thing. Like, he's so moody. It's funny that he's a cartoon, like a comic strip. And I realized as I got older that I was like, oh, yeah, comic strips aren't really for kids. They're just for adults. Yeah. And if you're a kid, you can read them because a kid's not going to be like, Mondays and strong coffee and Garfield. Like, what kid is going to have that reaction?
Well, you're right. Most of Garfield's reactions in this, I don't remember relating to Garfield's feelings about Christmas necessarily, except at the end when he said it was about love. I mean, and a little bit I did relate to his love of lasagna because that's pretty serious, yes. and it's pretty great the way he can eat a whole tray for breakfast.
Yeah. I like how John takes his pets to the country. I mean, I understand taking a
John's
dog.
a weird dude. John's a weird dude.
But you saw his family. You saw where he came from.
Oh yeah, John Doc, his brother John Doc. Oh no, Doc. Sorry, Doc Boy. Sorry, Doc Boy.
Doc Boy, who looks just like the dad, and John looks like no one in that family too.
And what's wrong with his mom's eyes? Should she wear glasses?
I don't know. I think she's the only one who doesn't have glasses in the family. I think the dad and maybe John Boy, I'm not sure, but yeah, she has no eyes.
No.
They're just lines. They're like little frowny faces drawn on her head.
I guess that's
But she's so adorable. She's so sweet.
She's
I was like, oh my God.
She's the sweetest. Great. Yeah. Yeah.
And also this is star-studded. Did you look at any
I
of
didn't.
this?
I didn't. I just watched it for the joy of rewatching it. But who is in it? Who is
the dad? John's dad is voiced by Schneider from One Day at a Time.
Oh, I thought that was a familiar voice, actually.
You did? Oh, I did not recognize that
when
voice
he's
at all.
reading the clown story.
Oh, what is that? What is that?
Binky the Clown.
That is something that until they said Binky the Clown, I forgot because I was like, oh, yeah, he's going to read Night Before Christmas or something. Nope. No. It's a clown who saves Christmas. And the boys are into it, but also kind of making fun of him. Like, it's a weird thing. So John Boy, and you'll know this voice, John Boy was voiced by Squeaky
you mean,
from Laverne and Shirley.
Oh,
Doc Boy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Doc Boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, but, yeah. And I didn't know it when I was watching it, but immediately when I looked it up, I went,
that makes sense too.
Yeah. And the grandmother went on 2 years after she was the grandmother. She went on, I think, to voice probably one of the greatest Disney villains in Ursula. The Little Mermaid.
I can hear Ursula in there.
I can't.
I mean, think about if she changed.
For me, I was like, she must have range.
Yeah.
Like, if she can be that grandmother and then Ursula, that's really great.
Good on her.
Because I feel like between the grandmother and Ursula, she probably smoked 8 truckloads of cigarettes.
She was like, I'm ready. I'm an octopus woman.
Well, I got to prepare for this role.
I'm not just a granny anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's it. I mean, the rest of the voices are just the regulars. The mom does Garfield's or John's mom's voice in everything. Like anytime there was a special, there's even a show that was on a few years ago. It's all like computer generated.
Garfield, yeah.
But she does the voice of John's mom in that. Like that's kind
she's
of
the only. That's what she does. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good to know a little background on the actors, if you will.
Yeah, those voice actors. Oh, all right. So anyway, so this is wait a minute.
Is it a Christmas special?
Right. It is a Garfield Christmas special.
Because there was a Thanksgiving special, the Halloween special. I think there was one about them going to the beach. Watching
the beach special.
Yeah, I feel like there was.
Garfield, a splishy splashy summer. I really did not watch. I watched the Garfield TV show, Garfield and Friends, but I I don't think I ever watched any of these other
I think I saw the
specials.
Halloween one too. And actually, I'm not going to lie, just this Thanksgiving, I
Yeah.
indulged in the Thanksgiving one because it was fun. Yeah.
Wow.
Because Garfield
Huh.
he's a different, again, like you said, can a kid relate to Garfield's emotions? No. But can a jaded adult like myself and my husband? Absolutely. We're like, yeah, that's right. Like,
Was Garfield all upset because people were going to be in his house, and he was like, "Oh, I can't believe I have to host again. This is terrible. Who's going to get all loaded and start spilling family secrets?"
No, but he does love when Grandma cooks for him. He just loves her cooking. Maybe not so much her
What?
prize winning chili because it seemed like it was a bit spicy.
Hold on a second. So wait. His family makes an appearance in the
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
yeah.
episode. Oh, they're all back, like Doc Boy's there and everybody. Oh, okay. Wow. All right. I'm gonna have to seek that out. I'll find that. I'll watch it.
Seek it.
But they go to John's house.
Yes. Well, no, actually, I'm lying. The family isn't there. It's just Grandma that comes over. I'm lying
Oh, okay.
because
All
here's
right.
what happens. He has a date with the nurse.
The
And,
nurse,
but I think
Liz,
she's a
Jennifer Love Hewitt?
yes, but I think she's a vet I feel like she's a vet in the Thanksgiving episode.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Okay.
didn't mean a nurse.
That's
why
all
would
right.
why
It's
would
medical.
How would he be
It's
the
a medical
nurse? How would
lady.
he
What
be
would
the
you
nurse?
assume?
John only leaves his house to go to the vet to take his animals to be
Well-
because he's a cartoonist in the show, so he just stays at home.
And he
does
just does his cartooning, right? So yes,
By the show, probably the comic strip too. I don't know.
all of the above.
Hey, do you live near a train
I
station?
do.
Okay, all right. Every now and then, listening back, sometimes when I'm editing, I'm like, "What is?"
Oh yeah, the
what's
train's
that
going by right
noise?
now. Actually. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I thought I just heard it. Usually, I don't hear it until I'm editing, and I'm like, "Wow, what?"
That's
I wasn't sure if that's how your heat sounded.
yeah.
or what
My
it
heat is just like a
Okay.
train engine coming
I
in.
don't know.
When the heat
I-
kicks on,
I-
it goes woo woo like that.
No, it's funny. We've been doing this for so long, and I've never heard it before.
Oh, but then in recent
Which-
edits, you did.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I'm not sure what the difference is, but anyway, it doesn't
Well,
matter.
there you have it. There's some train action.
Yeah, I don't remember what we were even talking about. now.
It was. You see how we're doing? We're at 16 minutes and we haven't even talked about the movie that we're supposed to be talking about. We're talking about the sister to it, the Thanksgiving episode. It's worth a watch. And now that I'm really thinking about it, the family is not there. He hosted Thanksgiving dinner, but he doesn't cook. His grandmother does, so she is there.
But he made a date with the
Listen,
vet on
listen.
Thanksgiving?
Yes. And she came over.
Did he? Oh, she came over to Thanksgiving.
No.
It's not like he was like, "Hey, feed my animals. I got a date."
No, he invites her to dinner,
Got
and that happens to be Thanksgiving. Poorly timed first date, I agree, but they're cartoon
I
humans.
don't know. I think that's
Oh,
pretty good because he's been hitting on this vet forever. If she says yes to a Thanksgiving dinner date at your house, that's pretty good. That's like 10 dates
That
in
is,
one.
it's a big time date, but really it's just
Yeah.
a dinner for them, and Grandma even skips out before it's dinner time. She just comes in to help cook the dinner
Wow.
and give some
I
Garfield
think
some
after we're
loving.
done, I should just leave and you should just do that episode. It's like a bonus for the listeners.
I pretty much just did, so they got it. They got it.
All right. Well, maybe we should get started here since everybody's like, "What is going on? Schitt's Creek podcast? This is terrible." So anyway, the intro to this,
Oh, it's
and
bizarre,
I was thrown
right?
for what
Isn't
was
it
that?
bizarre, the intro?
Yeah, I was thrown for a moment because I was like, "Wow, John goes all out with the
Mm-hmm.
decorations. Like Noel is spelled out in lights on the roof of their house. There's like a crazy electric candle next to the fireplace, and of course, like you said, Garfield's asleep in his box that he barely fits into." John is dressed like an elf. He prances into the
Hops
room
right in there, yep.
with a stack of lasagnas. Do you think Garfield's bed is a hollowed out lasagna pan?
I used to wonder that. And I feel like
It's
in one of the
pretty much the
very
same
early,
size.
maybe it was the show, when you find out how
Yeah.
he was you find out a little background on. Do you remember that one where you get the background
Yes.
on how his
That
mom
had to have
left
been
him
a
in a
special.
lasagna?
Oh my
I feel
God.
like his mom,
Yes.
right? And
Wow.
this Italian, this pizzeria or this Italian restaurant adopted him. I feel like that's why he liked
Yes.
lasagna so much, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that like his
Whoa.
backstory?
This is all flooding back. That had to have been a special too.
I feel like it was.
That had to have been. That wasn't just a regular episode of Garfield and Friends.
No. But I feel like that's
right.
what he started to sleep in was the lasagna trays.
You solved the mystery.
Right.
You solved
I
the
may
mystery.
have led us down the right path. One never knows. Well,
All
if
right.
one does the right research, one will. But yeah, anyway, he's got this box and a love of lasagna. And
Yes.
so it's Christmas, so he's dreaming of what he wants for Christmas. Oh, no. John brings him the gift giving machine, that weird light up clown thing.
Yeah, it's not a clown. It's like a robotic Santa.
Oh, robotic Santa. Yeah.
Because you sit on his lap, which is a chair, and he reads your thoughts and gives you what you want, which is, I mean, first of all, a great Christmas gift, but also defeats the purpose of ever having a holiday where you exchange gifts if you could just get what you want all the time, right? It's like having a genie and wishing for unlimited wishes. I don't think that would work. But he's so happy, and a song plays. Like, this is a musical. That's
what a Christmas special is, as we found out from our Mr. T special. It's not a Christmas special if they're not singing every now and again.
No, exactly. And I like how Garfield, a cat who sleeps in a lasagna box and wants nothing other than to not wake up on Mondays, wishes for diamonds.
Yeah, he wants jewelry. He wants glittery diamonds and jewels.
It's so bizarre. And then the theme comes in. It's so funky. It's like, gimme, gimme, gimme. I want all that stuff. It's so darn good. Christmas is awesome. It should be Christmas all the time. And then, of course, it's a dream.
Right. And, yeah. The opening song strikes me as a little, it's a little greedy for a Christmas special. Jazzy and greedy. Then the way Garfield ends this episode or this special makes you know his heart is really full of love.
But it's weird because it's not like the show is about Garfield learning that it's not just about presents or that Garfield's a greedy pig and wants.
No, you're learning about how weird John's family is, really.
Right? Yes. This is just a dream. This has nothing to do with anything for the rest of the episode. But, I mean, once the credits roll and once we get going with this and after the greedy song ends, now we're on to the actual episode or the actual special. Let's say.
Our adventure to the farm. From
our adventure to
John's
the farm.
city home. Like you say, he takes his dog and his cat.
They even do say, like, oh, boy, what's that city got you? Oh, you're such a city boy. I'm like, city boy? He lives in, like, a rural development. He doesn't live in a high-rise or anything like that. But I guess to anyone on the farm, you know, having a house you can see from your front yard is living in a city, pretty much. I'm surprised you grew up on a farm, but you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, John doesn't strike me as a farm boy. Yeah.
No. It's probably, you know, he's one of those classic stories about people that are just like, well, this is where I grew up and I knew it wasn't for me and I had to get out as soon as possible and I had to go to the big city and make it.
I love the way you analyze these cartoon characters when we watch these cartoons. You know, John's just one of those guys, you know, he had enough of this farm life. You know, it was a little smoldering for him being around his mom who couldn't see well and his dad who looked just like his brother and his grandma.
It's like my dream in life to buy a single family home. By myself, just a single man hanging out, living in this neighborhood with my dog and cat.
Yeah, it's groovy. It's all groovy. Let's face it.
Who talk? I can't hear my cat, but I stop. Every time he's talking, I pause and I stare at him. I give him time to get those
to
thoughts
process.
out.
To process. I used to love that, how his mouth never moves except for certain things, like for oohs and ahs.
Right.
Garfield's mouth
Well,
will move.
those are vocal noises that cats can
Yeah,
make.
but
I mean, that's pretty
otherwise
easy.
he's just Garfield. He's just doing his Garfield thing.
Otherwise, it's just all in his head. But John seems to sometimes know what he's thinking, and sometimes, not. But it's funny either way. Either
Otherwise,
way. Whatever.
Otherwise, this is when we get treated to our second favorite song, or second song. No, I wouldn't say favorite. Second favorite.
My second favorite song.
I do like this one. This is the farm tune where they're all excited because they're at the farm and they're going to be together for a farm family Christmas. It's a little jingle that they sing.
John, he's just singing about his farm because he's talking to his dog and cat because they're driving. He's like, "Oh, guys, wait till we get to the farm. I remember those Christmases; they were great." He starts singing, and Garfield rolls his
Garfield's
eyes.
just like whatever. And no, and Garfield's it's like a duet where Garfield's like boring, and John's like, "We're gonna do this and that, and it's gonna be so fun." And Garfield's like, "Whatever, I'd rather sleep."
We see adorable flashbacks of John as a little boy, and he was like a chubby little kid. Like, he looked so cute. So they get to this farm, and as we said, his mom is blind and adorable.
Yeah.
John's dad and brother, Doc Boy, they look exactly
I know. I had a hard
alike.
time at times. I'm like, who are we talking to now? I at one point at the end, did you realize at the end, I think it's after they light the tree, Dad has a giant cowboy hat on.
Yes.
It's huge too. It's like the size of the tree.
It's like a giant novelty foam cowboy hat you put on, and I didn't understand what this had to do with anything. It's like an animator just put that in as a
That's
joke.
what I think. Like,
nobody's
no one
gonna
will know
notice
this. Find the hat in the Christmas special. Oh man. Well, but yeah, we meet this awkward family. We also meet Grandma with her little star on her sweater. And
Grandma just sitting at the window, just sitting staring
but
she's got in a rocking chair.
She brings to their attention, don't nobody come and talk to me. Don't worry about me. I'm just the old lady over here in the rocking chair. And I do so she's a tough nanny. She's a tough Grammy, right? She makes him punch him in the stomach, punch me in the gut.
Yep.
Really super strong. And she sees the cat and the dog like she's never seen him, Odie and Garfield, She picks up Garfield and she says, I remember when we had just wood-burning cats. And Garfield, too.
What's a wood-burning cat? What does that mean? Does that mean like disposable cats that if you ran out of wood, you could just toss a cat on the fire?
I think that's what Granny meant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Granny, when did she grow up? The 1300s.
Granny's tough times. And hey, Granny's on the farm. There's a lot of stray cats. They're going to be poking around at your stuff. You burn them if you need to.
I guess so. But yeah, she's tough and she's got a star on her sweater. Also, there's a weird thing, as you had kind of alluded to earlier. She wants to put chili powder in the gravy.
Oh, yeah. She claims that she was the Greene County chili champion. And when
Greene County?
Greene County. Greene County. Okay. Chili champion. When the chili's on the stove, she just wants to spice that chili out.
Yeah. And apparently the mother doesn't want her to do this, but she does it anyway. Garfield burns his mouth.
It's too spicy.
It's hilarious.
Garfield and Granny, even though, again, their first time they see each other, you think they don't know each other. They have a little affinity. They like each other. It's very sweet.
Yeah. It did seem like this was the first time John has brought his animals around, but nobody else seems to say anything like, oh, look at these animals you have there. And does Doc Boy live there?
I think so.
Does he live there?
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't know if maybe he came in from, two towns over or something like that. Okay. Yeah. All right. He's always there. All right. Okay. That explains it.
Oh, man. So.
Why is he dressed in a onesie?
Why is he? I think it's overalls, right?
It's like, no, it's like footy pajamas.
Oh,
No,
later he is in the footy pajamas,
Yeah.
and
with like a bunny tail, with like a cotton
because
tail on
he's
the
a
back of
duck
it.
boy. What do you think? Everyone's got a duck
He and,
boy.
he and John are sharing a room too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Clearly, they have to probably bunk beds.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, they're loving
Okay,
it. They're
all right.
loving it.
Okay. All right. When they wake their dad up at 1:30
I love it.
in the morning, like they're babies. I was like, what is happening right now? Well, technically, it is morning.
I know it is, and you know it is. What he tells them.
All right, so it's time for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
At first, they asked Doc Boy to say grace, and at first he doesn't want to.
No, but then he gets right on into it, right?
He gets so into it, it is wild. And he has to be hit with a spoon to start and then hit with a spoon to stop.
Granny runs that house, let's face it. She might be sweet and love that rocking chair, but she is the ruler of the... She'll put the spices in the chili when she wants, and she'll slap the sense or the grace right out of Dog Boy if she needs to.
Also, this is where the grandmother basically tells her son that she's pregnant, which is
very awkward. It's a very awkward moment, and again, in a kid's show, I definitely didn't take that in watching it as a kid.
Oh no!
But
no, I had no idea what that meant.
But yeah, she makes some comment about how she's eating for two. Well, in the meantime, she is under the table. It's really cute because my dog does that, and the dog and the cat are under the table, sort of begging for scraps, and Granny's just feeding them right under there.
That's right.
And they're loving it. It's kind of cool then. Well, not kind of cool. It's cute. After dinner, John has a whole little meal made up on his plate. A little nice looking meal. Looked like a ham and everything for Garfield. But Garfield and Odie, well, mostly Garfield. Let's face it, Garfield gets more attention than Odie. But
Odie's just a big dummy that nobody cares about.
But a sweet and sensitive dummy. Oh, earlier before dinner, Odie ran off to the shed. Earlier in the morning, Odie ran off to the shed. Garfield followed him.
Yes.
Odie was making something. We don't know quite what yet. And that's when Garfield stumbled upon these, I think made mention of these letters that he finds. We don't know what they are.
No, that didn't happen. No? That didn't happen yet. That happens when everybody goes to bed.
Oh, right.
But Odie did go into the barn exploring, and he did find some stuff. But Garfield doesn't know about it yet. But
anyway, off the timeline. Happens. Sorry about that.
This reminded me. My grandmother once. We went to my grandmother's every year for Thanksgiving. My dad's mom, and she was a woman that never had pets or animals, and hated them and didn't want anything to do with them and all of that. She wouldn't let her kids have pets and everything. I think she flushed my dad's fish down the toilet.
No pets at all.
He was at school one day. Oh, no pet. Not even fish.
Yeah.
So one year we went and we brought my dog with us. I don't know why we did this. Oh, boy, we were basically...
You're being mean at Grandma, You were the Johns, Yeah.
And it was after dinner, and she asked if we wanted her to make up a plate for the dog, and she did, and she separated out all of the dishes. She's like, well, here's the ham, and here's a bit of potato.
Yeah, just like Garfield had. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So that's it. It reminded me of my grandmother. I appreciated that.
You see, that's lovely. Even though she didn't like the pet, she still didn't have a problem making food for it. That's sweet.
Exactly. It wasn't her pet, so what does she care?
She don't care.
So now they decorate the tree as a family.
Oh, yes. This is fun.
Which is very cute.
Yeah. Garfield has to put the star on top, which is, he gets scared for a minute, but then it's okay. When it lights up, they make that weird ooh.
Which I remember.
I did.
That is the one thing. I'll remember that on my deathbed. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember in Garfield when they all went ooh, and it was very bizarre.
But it is the reaction you get when everything just lights up and sparkles on Christmas.
Everything works out well for them so far. So then they want Dog Boy to play the piano. There's a whole extended piano scene here where the dad at one point says those 24 years of piano lessons better pay off. I was like, first of all, how old is this guy?
You gotta wonder.
And what is this?
You gotta wonder.
Because he can't play the piano at all. Those were 24 wasted years.
I think they all know that. I think there's a lot of regret when it comes to choices Doc Boy might have made. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Well, I'm sure that's the case. You're like, oh, he's still wearing those jammies. Oh, no.
Sweet
Boy.
Doc Boy. Sweet, sweet
Maybe
Doc
you
Boy.
could move out, Doc Boy. Maybe you could find a job or something. I don't
At
know.
least an Odie. Maybe Doc Boy should take Odie so he has a companion. I don't know.
They would be
Lost together. They would just be
they'd
lost.
end up dead. Most of them would be. He would forget to feed Odie. Odie would end up eating him. It would be terrible.
It would be. You're right.
Yeah. So Doc Boy sucks at the piano. The grandma comes over and gets real funky.
Oh, yeah.
On the piano.
Yeah. She's a funky grandma. No doubt.
She is a funky grandma. And then the mom then gets in and her piano playing is just...
Oh, of course. She doesn't have any eyes. She brings it back to everyone's... She grounds everyone. She does. Yeah.
Right. Yes. So Garfield, while the piano's playing, he sees that the grandmother is really sad. Yep. She's back at her window.
Yep. She's a little forlorn.
In a dark room. They just turned off the lights in that room on Grandma, and she's staring out the window. So he goes up, curls up on her lap, and she tells Garfield a story.
Oh, such a
about
sweet
her
tale.
husband.
Such a sweet, though, how much she loved him and what a good man he was, and how lonely she is, mostly around Christmas, more around Christmas time, because it's very sweet. And again, as a child, I think I realized, it's a sweet grandma talking about, but as an adult and everything, you think, they really went there with this Christmas special.
Yeah.
They really took it very, very sentimental.
Yeah. I do like how she's like, men like him didn't feel like showing much emotion towards people. But on Christmas, he'd smile. Like, all right, good for him.
And I knew, I kind of get the sense that Grandpa, although Grandma's a funky Grammy, I think that Grandpa was a hard man.
Yeah, right. Yep. She had to step it up. She had to fill 2 roles when dealing with her children.
Oh. Again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, all right. Daddy's breath smells like whiskey and he's asleep on the couch. But whatever, let's go in here and make gingerbread houses. Oh, also, this is where we're suddenly outside of the house and the family was singing, but now we just hear a woman go, "Keep Christmas Eve in your hearts." Like, who is that? And I love how it's a Christmas Eve song. It's very specific.
You gotta have one for the Eve. Let's do it. Yeah.
I guess so. So now it's time for the big story. Binky, the clown who saves Christmas. I think in my notes, I wrote, what is this crap? Also, it's not a children's book. It's like a huge, thick novel that they hand.
And when he goes to read it and he reads it with the wrong intonation in his voice, they call him out on it. So he's got to do his Binky voice when he reads it. Oh.
And the kids are like, read it. No. Read it how Binky would read it. I'm like, who is this Binky? Like, how do you see on TV?
Binky the clown.
How do you know how this clown talks?
Binky the clown, man. It's pretty fun.
Sometimes we cut to Odie. He's doing something with a plunger. He's taking the plungy part off of a plunger.
Dancing with it. This is when he dances with it for a little while. He has a moment, and at this point, I didn't remember the back scratcher, and I'm like, why did they just giving this dog random scenes?
Just random shit to do. Like, I don't know. What would that stupid dog be doing? I don't know, taking apart a plunger? Sure, put it in. This is where we get another song.
About the elf.
A funky song about an elf. Yeah, you can never find an elf when you need one. And it's a duet, too. It's really terrible. But this is where Garfield trails Odie.
Oh, this is the trail. I'm so sorry. Yes.
Everyone's asleep in the house, and he follows Odie out, and he sees Odie just making something. But, I mean, it's Odie, so Garfield assumes it's just a pile of junk. So he stops paying attention to that, but he does find a stack of letters that fall out of an old box.
Yes.
And he's very excited when he finds them.
Because he knows. He knows whose
He knows.
day they're going to brighten.
Mhm.
And there's a clear favorite of his in the house.
He basically finds grandma's sex
Well,
letters.
yeah, in the end, they're very scandalous letters, what he finds. Because he presents
She's
them.
like, I'm not reading that part. Nope.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to hear
No,
this.
this is private. Yeah. She, they have their Christmas morning and everyone exchanged gifts and they're all so happy, right? And Garfield won't let, this is not it. He says, hold on. The best present has yet to come. And he delivers the letters to Gran, who begins to read them out loud until she realizes.
So she's like, well,
Grandpa was
I
a
shouldn't
little
have started to
salty,
read
yeah.
the dirtiest letter. There's other ones I could have started with. I forgot about this one.
Yeah, so she
oh my god, it's great.
Yeah, it is really fun. It is really fun.
Yep.
And
but that's also not it when it comes to the gifts. Because Odie made Garfield a bag scratcher, and I like how Odie takes like a paper bag off the top of it, and Garfield's like, "What the hell?
Exactly.
What the hell is this piece of garbage?"
So Odie's got to kind of show him how you use it, and then once he does, Garfield's hooked. He thinks it's the nicest, and it's a sweet little ending where Garfield summarizes that it's the loving that you get out of Christmas.
Yes.
It's not the
giving.
No,
it's not the getting. It's the love.
Yeah.
That's it. It's great.
Yeah.
And at the end, a song played, and I said in my notes, I wish it were sung by Dolly Parton. 'Cause it's a country song, and it's super sweet. I was like, well, that's what's missing from this special.
Little DP, little Dolly Parton.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, that's 22 minutes. Like it's a breeze. If you've never seen it, find it.
Fun.
I think it's worth watching.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there are certain stupid jokes, when they're walking and the dog and the cat are in the snow and you can't see them, and Garfield runs into like a water pump or something. Yeah. And Garfield's one-liners are kind of like, brother, whatever. But as you said, it's cute. Yeah. It's sweet. Mm-hmm. Why not?
Do it. It's a Christmas. It's a nice, quick Christmas without getting too heavy into, you're not even at a half-hour mark to watch it. You're at a 45-minute mark to listen to us talk about it. But
this is taking way longer. You could have watched this twice.
But you wouldn't have this insight.
You could have watched that one and the Garfield origin story, probably, in the time it took us to go through this. I gotta find that one now.
Me too. I kind of want to watch that one too to get that.
Yes.
But yeah.
And I also do want to just talk about what we have coming up. Because since it's near the end of December, our next bonus episode is February 1st. It will be our live Supergirl show. For those of you that were not there.
It's really fun.
Which is
most of you. Yeah, not calling anybody out, but I'm kind of am.
Not calling anybody out, but if you live in the UK or Australia, you probably were not there. So this is your chance to hear it. That was way back in, was that
July?
June or July?
It was July.
Okay. I'm saying right now that that's what our episode will be on February 1st, but I have not yet listened to the audio.
Oh, okay.
No
so
idea
this could change.
What this sounds like, but I would assume everything went off without a hitch. Everything sounded great. The sound engineers, let's call them, told us everything was good.
So then we're all right.
They gave us the thumbs up, so I'm assuming it sounds great. But that will be there. But also the very next month, we're going to do that garlic documentary. And the month after that. So again, 3 months in a row.
Bonus.
If you count the December bonuses, 5 in 4 months.
What a gift. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and February. Let's say Valentine's Day. March, whatever happens in March.
It's a spring break.
And in April, it is spring
break.
Let's record on spring break. And in April, we're going to do another April 1st, April Fool's Saturday Night Live cast member. A
silly one.
What will it be? What will it be this
know.
time? Last time we did Haunted Honeymoon and regretted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's it going to be? Who's Harry Crumb?
Maybe.
Or is Jamie saving that for a birthday episode? Not sure.
That was one of my Blockbuster picks. I think I've told you that, right? On my wall of chosen movies at Blockbuster.
I just assumed that was always your Blockbuster.
Well, you had 5, I think, or 7, and I don't remember all of them, but Who's Harry Crumb was one of them.
I like to think you put up like 3 Who's Harry Crumbs, and then you just took a piece of paper and wrote the Hug a Bunch movie on another one.
That's how it went down. Right. But yeah, we've got some good bonus episodes coming your way. And those are just the bonus episodes.
Oh, those are just the bonus episodes. Like I said, Jamie's got a birthday coming up.
Who knows?
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Who
I always threaten the journey of Natty Gann, but I don't know if I'm going to make that journey with the audience.
It's not a threat. I have told you before, the only time where I am going to pretend to be sick and I'm going to have you do the podcast with somebody else, let's say Steph Crawford, is if you say Anne of Green Gables. If that ever comes up, I am out. I'm like, I'm not down for that 3-hour movie that I hated so much and had to watch in school.
I wouldn't make you watch a school movie.
Over the course of a week, it was awful.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. I'm sorry.
All right. I'll watch now again, but you know.
Oh, you froze. Now at the very end is when you're going to freeze?
We don't have it for another 3 episodes.
There you go.
Oh, I'm still here.
Okay.
So are you. So anyway, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, if you didn't support us, I mean, we'd still do the podcast, but we wouldn't do bonus episodes.
No.
So,
and I wouldn't get to watch
never
this
talk
again.
about this.
Yeah, this was great. So thank you, everyone. And really, whatever holiday you celebrate, have a happy and for whatever holiday, I think Garfield will fill your heart with Christmas love or holiday love.
Exactly. Yes. And if your grandmother is still around, give her a call around the holidays. Yeah. And just be like, can you read me any saucy letters? To you? You know, if you're a weird person, do it. All right, everybody, thank you for listening. Boy, we've really clocked in at over 45 minutes on this.
Amazing.
And I am shocked by
I'm
that.
not.
So we'll see you again in a regular episode, and our next bonus episode will probably be our live one. All right? Bye, everybody.
So long.
You can never find an elf when you need one. When you got to get that toy beneath the tree.
Yeah, when an elf is what you need, his energy, his speed. There never seems to be one who's free.
But then comes that magical moment.
So the story goes on Christmas Eve.
When elves and other weirdos
Think it's better than you
think to see.
Seems you can never find an elf when you need one. And you don't know what you're gonna do.
But if you believe the magic of Christmas Eve, then one fine